Every evening, as the last rays of sunlight slip away from the backyard, something strange begins to happen. Just moments earlier, birds were hopping across fences, pecking at seeds and feeders, and singing from the trees beyond your window. Then, as darkness settles over the landscape, they seem to vanish. If you glance outside around dusk, the change is almost eerie. The yard that was alive with movement all day suddenly falls silent. No fluttering wings, no cheerful calls, no sign of the tiny creatures that seemed to be everywhere only minutes before. So where do they go? Most people assume birds simply find a branch and sleep until morning. But the truth is far more fascinating than that. While you're locking the doors, turning off the lights, and getting ready for bed, millions of birds are entering the most dangerous part of their day. Night is not a time of complete rest. It is the beginning of a silent struggle for survival, where a single mistake can mean the difference between life and death. What few people realize is that these tiny animals possess abilities that seem almost unbelievable. They can make themselves nearly invisible in the darkness, lower their body temperature to conserve energy, and even sleep while remaining partially alert to danger. And that's only the beginning of the story. Tonight, we're stepping into a hidden world that most people never see, a secret world that comes alive after sunset, where backyard birds rely on extraordinary survival strategies while the rest of us are fast asleep. Welcome to the underground world of birds. As darkness settles in, the first challenge backyard birds face is not the cold, it's survival. In the night, predators begin their shift. Feral cats move silently beneath shrubs. Owls take flight with wings so quiet they can seem almost invisible. Weasels, snakes, and other hunters begin their nighttime patrols. That means before a bird can sleep, it must find the perfect hiding place. Take the northern cardinal, for example. If you regularly see cardinals around your feeder or perched on a backyard fence during the day, you might assume they fly far away to some secret location at night. But the truth is quite different. Most cardinals remain surprisingly close to the territory they occupy during daylight hours. They simply disappear from your view. As evening approaches, they slip deep into dense shrubs, evergreen trees, or thick vegetation where predators have a much harder time spotting them. What many people don't realize is that their primary goal isn't necessarily staying warm. Their most important goal is becoming invisible. A bright red bird that stands out dramatically during the day can virtually vanish once it disappears behind a few layers of leaves in the darkness. It's a form of camouflage perfected through millions of years of evolution. But even after finding a safe place to hide, another problem remains. Energy. Small birds have incredibly fast metabolisms. They are like tiny engines that run at full speed almost constantly. During the day, much of their time is spent searching for food simply to maintain their body temperature. At night, when feeding is no longer possible, that fuel supply begins to run low. And that's when one of the most remarkable abilities in the bird world comes into play. The black-capped chickadee, a familiar visitor to many North American backyards, can do something that sounds almost like science fiction. It intentionally lowers its body temperature during the night. This condition is similar to a miniature version of hibernation, allowing the bird to dramatically reduce the amount of energy it burns while sleeping. Just think about that for a moment. A creature weighing little more than a handful of coins can survive bitter winter nights thanks to an astonishing ability to carefully regulate its own body. In that same quiet backyard you know so well. While everything appears still and asleep, biological miracles like these are unfolding every single night. But not every bird survives the night by hiding alone in a shrub. Some nights become so cold that thick feathers and a sheltered roost simply aren't enough. As temperatures drop, every bit of body heat becomes precious. And in those moments, another instinct takes over: cooperation. During the day, many backyard birds can be surprisingly territorial. They compete for feeders, chase intruders from favorite perches, and defend their space with determination. But after sunset, those boundaries can begin to disappear. Eastern bluebirds provide a remarkable example. During daylight hours, they may fiercely defend their nesting territory. Yet on frigid winter nights, those same birds often squeeze together inside a tree cavity, a nest box, or any sheltered space they can find. Not because they've suddenly become more friendly, but because warmth can mean survival, In some cases, more than a dozen bluebirds may crowd into a single nest box. Their small bodies share heat with one another, creating a pocket of warmth against the freezing darkness outside. From the outside, that nest box might look completely ordinary. You may have walked past it countless times in your backyard without giving it a second thought. But inside, it could be serving as a life-saving shelter for an entire group of birds. And that changes the way we see a backyard at night. A dense shrub is not just landscaping. An evergreen hedge is not simply decoration. A nest box is not only important during breeding season. To birds, these features are part of a survival infrastructure. They are overnight shelters. They are wind-resistant fortresses. They are tiny warming rooms heated by the breath and heartbeat of creatures fighting to make it through until sunrise. And while you're asleep in the comfort of a warm bed, somewhere outside, hidden inside a wooden nest box or deep within a dark thicket, an entire community of birds may be resting shoulder to shoulder in silence, waiting, conserving energy, trusting that the first light of morning will return once again. But even after finding shelter, huddling together for warmth, and conserving every possible bit of energy, birds still cannot completely switch off the way we do. Because in the wild, deep and total sleep can be dangerous. A cat may step across a layer of dry leaves. An owl may silently change perches overhead. A sudden gust of wind may shake the very shrub where they are hiding. And in the darkness, a single sound can mean the difference between life and death. The remarkable thing is that many birds can sleep while remaining alert. Some species are capable of letting part of their brain rest, while another part continues monitoring the world around them. Imagine a house at night where a few rooms have gone dark, but the hallway lights and front porch light remain on. That's essentially what some birds are doing. This is one reason birds are sometimes seen sleeping with one eye open. That eye isn't open by accident. It's connected to the more alert side of the brain, allowing the bird to detect movement, light, or unusual activity in the darkness. To us, that sounds almost impossible. To birds, it's a sophisticated survival strategy. Even while their bodies rest, their warning systems remain active. A snapping branch, a rustle in the leaves, a faint alarm call from another bird nearby. Any one of these sounds can trigger an immediate response. And this is what makes a backyard at night far more alive than most people realize. It isn't an empty, silent space. It's more like a natural surveillance network. Hidden in the darkness are tiny eyes that occasionally crack open, tiny ears, listening to every sound, tiny creatures sleeping, yet never completely letting down their guard. Even the leaves that seem perfectly still may be concealing a bird quietly monitoring the world around it. So the next time you look out into a dark backyard and assume nothing is happening, remember this: you simply can't see it. Beneath that silence lies a living defense system, where every sound carries meaning and every moment of rest is balanced by vigilance. While the backyard may appear asleep, countless birds remain connected to the night around them, waiting, listening, and watching for the first sign of danger. But the night isn't just a time for birds to hide, stay warm, and watch for danger. For millions of birds, night is when the greatest journeys of their lives begin. While you're asleep, an invisible river may be flowing above your house. Not a river of water, but a river of wings. Warblers, hummingbirds, sparrows, and countless other migratory birds are quietly traveling over neighborhoods, fields, cities, and familiar backyards. Most of us never realize it's happening. The night sky appears empty. Yet during migration season, it can become so crowded that weather radar detects massive flocks of birds moving across the landscape like giant storm systems. Even more astonishing is how these birds navigate. Many are flying hundreds, even thousands of miles using tools that humans can barely perceive. They read the positions of the stars. They sense Earth's magnetic field. They recognize rivers, coastlines, mountain ranges, and even patterns of light below them. So, the next time you look out into a dark backyard, don't assume it's empty. It may be a shelter, it may be part of a hidden defense network, and sometimes it may sit directly beneath a secret highway in the sky. The truth is that the world outside your window doesn't go to sleep when the sun goes down. It simply changes shifts. A different world awakens. A world of hidden shelters, silent sentries, and extraordinary journeys unfolding above our heads every single night. Have you ever heard birds singing in the middle of the night? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden secrets of nature right outside your door, be sure to subscribe before you go, because stories like these are happening every night, all around us, and most of us never even know they're there.